They about to look at the shit that I'm on, why don't we get in topic? Crew looking like pentatonics, locked in, recording in tropics. And the East Big 3, Big Bronzy B, way good, he working on optics. Thought biz while smoking exotics, we lit, never thought about it. Cause they about to look at the shit that I'm on, why don't we get in topics? Sitting way back, all black, I'm talking, feeling like Shaq, I weigh my options. And the East Big 3, Big Bronzy B, way good, he working on optics. Thought biz while smoking exotics, it's saucy all the projects, it's saucy.
What is up, what is up, what is up? RCR Presents MSD Sports, and we back at it for episode number 17. My name is Sam, also known as YBK. We got Mikey, and we got Camden. And let's go, MSD Sports episode 17. Mikey, introduce yourself. Mikey, introduce yourself.
What's good, everybody? It's your boy, MJ Michael John, coming to you from the Bean, Boston 02135. I want to take a quick second to shout out YBK, Sam, my brother, my good friend. Congratulations to your Philadelphia Eagles.
Thank you.
Y'all know what it is. We here for episode 17, and I'm going to send it off to my homie Camden.
Yes, sir. Camden, what is up?
What's going on? It's your boy, Mr. Club Paradise, a.k.a. Camden Lee in the 90250. You see me repping a little different apparel today. You know what I mean? That was a shout out to my boy Black Jew. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to my boy Nick. You know what I'm saying? I know that he's a champion, and it's been a wonderful week for him. And I'm just grateful to just be around because it was a tough game. We got a lot going on. And YBK, what's going on? What's the deal today? What's popping? What we talking about?
Yes, sir. We got agenda to talk about, but before we want to give MSD Sports a big shout out to Mr. Sean Doe, who came out special guest in episode 16 in our Super Bowl episode. We would like to shout him out. Parlay with us 617. Thank you very much, and it was a great episode. We'd like to have you back again. All right. Agenda time. Super Bowl 59 post game. On how we feel on that. NFL honors. We're going to talk about some awards. Some of our nice premier athletes have won. And we also got some spicy NFL early predictions. And also, we're going to wrap it up with some NBA All-Star Weekend previews. We got a lot of news to talk about on that world. And let's go. Let's talk about the Super Bowl 59 that happened on Sunday, everybody. Kansas City Chiefs versus Philadelphia Eagles. Eagles winning 40-22. And we get our second Super Bowl. We are champions, everybody. Let's talk about this game, everybody. Let's get it.
Yeah, I know you guys have been listening to me all season. You know what I mean? The MSG crew, you already know what it is. Your boy was rooting for Kansas City for most of the year. You know what I'm saying? Most of the time, I felt as though, these guys were going to come for the three-peat. But I was mistaken. You know what I mean? All the juju leading up to this game was all messed up. You know what I mean? Between the halftime performance of, someone just putting extra bullets in somebody, between, just the late night situations. I heard there's some voodoo down in New Orleans. It was a travesty. Patrick Mahomes running for his life. Again, the Philadelphia Eagles beat the Kansas City Chiefs 40-22. To be honest, guys, I said on this last podcast, when I was with the boys, I was with the crew, I was feeling a little uneasy. I was getting text messages about, my normal situation just not being the normal situation. And to be honest, I was jacked up. Patrick Mahomes was jacked up. It was a travesty. You know what I mean? The whole week they were talking about what is your biggest loss? What is your biggest loss? What's the loss that you feel like is the one that haunts you the most? He said it was against Tampa Bay when he played the Tom Brady led, team. But I think it was this past Sunday. When I tell you this man could not have a second to throw, the defensive line of the Philadelphia Eagles front four was unstoppable. Like I said, Travis Kelce, nowhere to be found. I mean, you see me with the hat, guys. My man Black Jew, my man Nick was talking all week saying, hey, I was uneasy. But he knew he had it in the bag probably in the first quarter. It was unbelievable. Michael John, talk to me, man. Were you watching this game? Because I know we were talking a little bit from time to time. How did you feel about this? Like, just first thoughts.
Yeah, I mean, I'll just say the last team to three-peat is Diesel and Black Mamba from 2000 to 2002. It's going to be a while before we see a three-peat in a major sporting league. Like, sports is these athletes are at an all-time high. Sports medicine, sports science, competitiveness is at an all-time high. So with that being said, like, respect for the Chiefs to even have a chance to three-peat, because it's an incredible feat to even have the opportunity to do it. That being said, I feel like the talk of the week was too much centered around the Chiefs three-peating and not enough around how well-rounded the Eagles have played this year. And I know the Chiefs, we've had our questions about them, because even me, I was the one in the playoffs, as we talked about on this podcast, like, where are these points coming from that y'all are predicting for them to go to the Super Bowl with? Because y'all are saying they're going to score 30, 35 versus the Bills. I just didn't see it happening. You know, I know, like, losing your best man coverage cornerback can kind of burn you, like how it happened to the Bills in this AFC conference championship. I didn't think that they'd put up 22 points only, and with that being 2 garbage times touchdowns. So, I mean, I want to take it from the beginning of the game through. Like, YBK, when you was watching this game, take me through, like, the first quarter and your initial feelings, like, because you're coming from a Philadelphia Eagles fan standpoint. Like, how are you feeling when we're talking about first quarter here and going into the game? Like, what was your feelings like?
First quarter was when Jalen Hurts ran it in, right? On the first quarter? Tush push. Yes, okay.
Push, yep.
I was honestly, the first quarter, of course, Super Bowl, you know, we all nervous, final game of the season, we going in it, we're going. But honestly, from the first play of the game, that offensive interference call, I was like, oh, okay, now we're going siding with the Chiefs again. I was getting worried. I'm like, oh no, what if this is going to be a game where all the refs are going to be in their side? I'm like, oh man, this is not going to be good. But honestly, we turned it around. We got the ball back, scored, got that push, Jalen Hurts. Defense looking good. And I feel like, all right, this was a good first quarter. And I felt like first quarter wise, it was decent, but I want to give props to that second quarter though, Mikey. That second quarter.
Before you jump to the second quarter, I want to ask Camden this one, because this has been a topic. What did y'all, that offensive pass interference was kind of was a trash call, and I feel like they bailed the Eagles out in their next drive. Remember that play where he sailed the ball over Goddard's head and McDuffie kind of hit Goddard a little bit up high? They made up for that bad OPI by calling that, right? Don't you think, Camden?
100%. I mean, like, when I watched it, don't get me wrong, I felt like it was a tic-tac call. You know, I mean, I had some people over. I had to switch up at the last minute, do my thing, but I did have my peoples in the building. And the first thing I saw when I saw that AJ Brown sticking out his hand, I said, bro, you didn't have to do that. You really didn't have to do that, only because you had a legit separation on him. Now I get it; it's a natural kind of occurrence, and so in terms of a ref, I was like, oh, that's kind of a weird call to me. But I knew kind of out the gate after that first pass, I was like, oh snap! I was like, these guys are playing one-on-one coverage, and Kansas City hasn't seen a number one receiver yet. And then when I saw Kansas City doing these 3 and outs, especially when they got the ball the first time, because I'm thinking, okay, Philly comes down, tush push, normal. We expect this to happen. It's 7-0. Then, you know, I'm thinking, okay, maybe Kansas City comes down, kicks a field goal just to keep it close. But they didn't. They had no momentum. It's just and just stalling. And it kind of looked like, kind of talking a little bit what we were talking about during the regular season. You know, Kansas City kind of playing a game where they're waiting and kind of seeing, where I was like, these guys don't look like they have a lot of energy coming out in this first quarter. Like, it really doesn't feel like they think they're going to win this game. You know what I mean? Maybe they're supposed to, but I was not feeling very confident after that first, you know what I mean? And the Goddard one, it was a little high. And is in the Super Bowl, we're trying to protect these players. Like, if he put his whole oomph into it and actually delivered a strike, he could have not got it out the game. So I felt like both calls being in the first quarter, the refs kind of was like, hey, like, we're going to call stuff, but we're going to let you play. So I was nervous. I'm not going to lie. I was nervous on Thursday when we shot episode 15. I was nervous. So come on, Pip. Come on.
Yeah, you know what I knew it was an issue was when the first down went to Juju to start the game, I was like, that's either a really good sign for the Chiefs or a really bad sign for the Chiefs. I feel like when Pacheco went down with his fibula injury, like early in the year, he never came back running hard again. And you know how he runs hard like a train. You've seen the memes about Pacheco. They needed some of that because even though he wasn't super effective, Sam, Saquon was taking the totes and running hard at the linemen, and they was collapsing on the run, but it opened up the pass game. What did I keep
100%.
saying to y'all? You cannot man press AJ Brown. You cannot man press that guy. You cannot. And I feel like we really, really saw that happen. So, I mean, I'm not surprised that that Saquon had a hard day, though.
No, for real. I think we talked about that. I think, me and Mikey were extremely in agreement. We're saying, hey, like people are saying, oh, Saquon's gonna go for 112. He's gonna go for 120. I wasn't seeing it. That I knew no matter what, it just wasn't happening. I mean, one thing that when we think about these stats, right? Let's talk about the rushing yards from Kansas City. The number one rusher, again, like I said when we talked about in this last podcast, Patrick Mahomes, 4 carries for 25 yards. His longest was 8. Then you have Kareem Hunt, 3 carries for 9 yards. His long was 6. So that means his first carry was 6, and the other 2 were just 1.5. Then you have Sam Perrine, which is 1 carry, 8 yards, and then you have again Isaiah Pacheco, 3 for 7, long of 6. So those other 2 carries is 0.5 yards. You cannot win a Super Bowl and not have a run game. You need to have something. And something that I was talking about, what about those Saquon catches, Mikey? You know what I mean? And YBK, I was letting you know too. Coming out the backfield, them little checkdowns. Was there a screen in at any point with Kansas City, YBK? Was there one? Because I didn't see it. It's ridiculous.
No.
I mean, how did you guys feel? I mean, what do you feel about the rushing? Do you feel like, you know what I mean? Like, do we think Kansas City needed a running back? Do we think there was something just going on?
I feel like Kansas City needs a better offensive line to protect the running back and the quarterback, because we can totally see here the Eagles defense just pummeled. I mean, pummeled the Kansas City Chiefs. I want to really shout out on the second quarter when Cooper DeJean gets that pick 6. Happy birthday to him on that day. That pick 6, to lead off to that pick 6 was crazy, guys. We're talking about back-to-back sacks to Patrick Mahomes. And on the third down, Cooper DeJean gets that pick and reruns it down. And that's basically... for me, when I saw that, I think I texted Mikey. I'm like, wow, I've never seen a team doing this to the Chiefs ever this season. Like, we ain't the Bills. We ain't the, you know what I'm saying? We actually are taking down these Chiefs offense pretty well with our pristine defense. And I was like, wow, that back-to-back sack to me was shocking. Even that, you don't even have to add the pick. But that pick just adds that cherry on top, and that pretty much sums up that whole first half. That coming out 24-0 to halftime it's crazy to see, and but I also had that thought of that Patriots Falcons game is not done though. It's like still the Kansas City Chiefs guy, so that's what I thought. It's not over yet in that first half.
I mean, the thing that's crazy to me is that you had Patrick Mahomes 6 sacks. 6 sacks. Like, I don't think the man has had 6 sacks all postseason. In totality, the man had 6 sacks in one game. It was just, like you said, I feel like at the end of the day, the offensive line was just miserable. Guys, it's my birthday and I'm about to go to score. Did you see Cooper DeJean? Pick 60, dancing on a joint, trying to get to the joint, said, listen, it's my birthday, I got to score. It's my birthday, about to score. Crazy. I mean, I knew that this man was somebody coming out of college. I knew this rookie was a little something, especially being somebody who knows a little bit of the quarterback situation, knows a little bit about something. But, bro, that pick 6, I think to me, that ended the game for me. I knew it was over. I knew it was. People was hitting me up. A couple people asked me last minute who I had. I told them, you know what I'm saying. I know that I've been talking Kansas City for a minute, but I'm gonna let you know I think Philly gonna take it. That's what I'm just saying. Just I had to let them know. And I made a couple of doubts, but they wanted to ask. They wanted to ask me last minute, 10 seconds before the kickoff. I said, y'all really trying to play me sideways. I see how it is. But yeah, 24-0. People saying, can I send you the money now? I'll tell you that right now. They said, can I send you the bread now? That's how bad it was. And then we watched that halftime show. So, and then we knew it was over.
When he threw that
Mikey,
second interception in the first half, that's when I knew it was over. When I didn't know it was over, like it's not over till it's over. I knew it was over in the fourth quarter, but when he threw the second interception before half, I was like,
Yeah.
bro, that was like nightmarish. Like I know that be happening sometimes. You lose like the positioning of the linebacker because I seen Brady throw the same type of interception against the Seahawks when Bobby Wagner picked him. When you just try to throw like a little short crosser, kind of like across the middle, like mid. I seen Brady throw a very similar interception. I remember that, but the problem was it was the first play of the drive, and it was so deep in your own territory. It was just that was nearly the nail in the coffin right there.
pretty much.
Yeah, that was nearly the nail in the coffin right there.
For me,
I mean, you talk.
For me, I feel like
Sorry, Robbie,
for me when the game ended moment was that Devontae Smith touchdown, that deep 46-yard touchdown in the second half to make the Eagles go up 34-0, and I was like, all right, we got this now, because that 34, you know what I'm saying, that score is crazy in the Super Bowl. But yeah, I just wanted to say that was my moment when I was like, all right, this game's over.
Did you guys see D-Hop with the oh my god type of miss and wide open? When I tell you he probably could have scored on that play, that's what I kind of felt like when I saw that, and I was like, oh my gosh, these Kansas City Chiefs are dropping wide open balls like while they're down. Oh yeah, this is like these guys have no faith in themselves whatsoever. You know, I mean, one thing that I will say, Tom Brady was calling the game.
Yep.
I think Tom Brady might be, you know, the Eagles' good luck charm, because he's lost to them twice. I'm serious. He's lost to them twice. The man was practically giddy when he was seeing Mahomes throwing these interceptions. I think I didn't hear him speak for about 2 to 3 minutes on one drive, just being astonished on the fact that Philly was just murdering this boy. Listen, if anybody who won this past weekend, there's two people in the history of the game. I think it's Jalen Hurts, and I think it's Tom Brady. Jalen Hurts has cemented himself as a legitimate quarterback in this league, someone who wins despite the numbers, despite the situation. You know what I mean? Just because we can't do it don't mean we can't do it. You know what I'm saying? And Tom Brady. Because the GOAT conversation after watching that game is put a pin in it, like that voodoo doll that we were seeing online. We're gonna put a pin in that for a second, because I'm gonna tell you right now, put a pin in it, because he ain't doing it like he's doing it, baby. He ain't doing
That boy is so lucky that he got those dead time touchdowns, because the line ended with he threw for 3, but that's crazy. Him throwing
Insane.
for three touchdowns, like right. It did not feel like it was dire. They had like 30 yards go in the third quarter. In the third quarter, they had 30 yards or something.
Yep.
I think you mentioned it when, like, though every play wasn't going their way that needed to go their way. Like D-Hop, when you're down 24-0 after catastrophe, dude, Moses parted the seas right before him. It was like all he had to do was take the rock. But I mean, and I root for D-Hop, bro. I root for D-Hop. He's a great player. He don't drop balls, but sadly, it just, you know, they must have had a voodoo of him somewhere as well, sticking
That's
it in
what
his
I'm saying.
hands. Yeah,
Travis Kelce had no receptions in the first half. The first time ever in his career. It never happened before.
It's tough. It's tough when you trying to block, right? And then you trying to get off the line and run your routes, but there's no time. I think Mahomes was seeing ghosts early. And I think we have to revert back to a conversation we had last week talking about Vic Fangio and the job that he's done with the number one ranked defense, across all the five major categories for defensive like ratings and
Yeah.
stats this year. They were number one in out of five and number two in the others, if I'm not mistaken, for the Eagles, like points per game, yards per game, rushing, passing, etc. So you got to give him credit. This team did not blitz once.
Yep.
They didn't blitz. They rushed
No.
4 the whole game. So it's hard to blame a team for not succeeding when you're getting 16 QB pressures, 6 sacks, right? Fumble, getting decimated. Bro, he got decimated on the strip sack. That boy got his elbow yanked out. He got his face pushed in.
That play, that double hit.
I don't care.
Yep.
Like, bro, even if there was a penalty on it and whatever, they take it back. I'm not gonna lie. That was like, I'm punching you in your face. Do something.
Do something.
Right?
Do something.
That was the mentality.
It got to
I
his
mean,
head.
I think one of the things that you just you spoke about and we did talk about is Fangio. I mean, Vic was the defensive coordinator against those Patriots in 2007 when they were undefeated. You know what I mean, with the Giants. You know what I mean. Vic did have an amazing defense in Denver with Peyton. You got to understand, Vic Fangio is that guy on defense, and I think one person that we really didn't highlight that I really would love to just give some flowers to, Brandon Graham. Brandon Graham came back off of his tricep injury, where most of the time during those injuries is usually the whole season. You usually don't get that time. But the man came back, and I really felt like he put some fire under those young boys. He's been in the playoffs before. He's been in these situations where, hey, guys, if we take care of our job and we do the things that we need to do, this game is over. And I think him coming back to the lineup in the Super Bowl truly allowed, I think, the defense to have an anchor and really feel like there's nothing that's going to stop us this year. I mean, between Fangio and the defense, there's somebody that, you know what I mean, we gotta just give a second, just 10 seconds. Jalen motherfucking Hurts. I'm gonna say that one more time, and I usually don't be cussing like that on this show, but I gotta say it one more time. Jalen motherfucking Hurts. The man had 11 carries, 72 yards, and a touchdown. He also went 17 for 22, 221 yards, and a touchdown. He did have an early pick, which I expected because, again, it's a defense. It's a defensive matchup. I wasn't too worried. It was a bad pass. Somebody was right in his face.
Yeah.
But when I tell you, this boy was yanking that ball, going crazy. Michael John, did you see that pass to A.J. Brown on us? Oh, my goodness. The boy looked crazy on that mother.
Yeah.
Crazy.
That's what they want Lamar to do. Like, this is what, like, the Ravens want Lamar to be, because Lamar is more explosive and faster on the feet, but he don't have the patience I feel like Jalen Hurts has shown in this playoff run and in the previous playoff run to the Super Bowl. I think Lamar plays great, but just like the Bills lean too heavily on Josh Allen, it's the same for the Baltimore Ravens. This game, you didn't need to lean on Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts said, I got you. Like, he made his one mistake, which is fine. You make a mistake here and there. They had a great rush. They designed a great rush. Spags drew up a good play. Free rusher. The lineman didn't pick him up. He put that ball up in the air. It was a bad pick, and that was that. That was the one bad play of the game. The design play to A.J. Brown for the touchdown was beautiful. Let him come across. You can't man press him. I mean, I'm going to just keep saying it. Then the moon ball to Devontae Smith, what a dime. Dropped a dime in the bucket over the top. It was like, oh, that must have ripped the heart out of your fans if you're a KC fan. I can remember some years back, KC going down big, like 21 points or 24-3 or something to the Houston Texans in the playoffs, and they came storming back when they had a younger Travis Kelce, when they had Tyreek Hill, right? When they had weapons. But it's not this team. This Chiefs team is we play a close game, and we learn we could be 17-0 in our last one-score games, but not when you're down that big. Not this design team. It's not meant for it. I really think that the praise is all deserved for Jalen Hurts, man. He put that the legendary picture of whichever teammate was behind him and got that picture of him on his phone.
Oh, yep.
And they
And the
seen
lock
that
screen.
background, bro. They seen that background, and it said a lot. And I think it really he fixated and focused on turning that around, and now he's got his own picture of the green and silver confetti coming down on him.
I totally agree. One shout out I want to give in that Eagles offense is the man we talked about last week in that Super Bowl episode, Mr. Jake Elliott, guys. This man was flawless in this Super Bowl. He scored what, 16 points, responsible for 16 points of the Eagles offense. He went 4 field goals and 4 extra points. And those 4 field goals, guys, were a 48, 29, another 48, and a 50. He hit them all, and he hit them twice in some of them. I feel like
Bro,
there were some
yes.
calls, yeah.
They kept getting the penalties, 5-yard penalties.
He kept on
bro.
kicking it in,
bring
though.
it back 5.
But he still got it in, though. But I give a big shout out to Jake Elliott.
I mean, we talked about this last episode where I said, hey, like the kicking game is really going to matter. And I think one thing that I was really, really kind of just not perplexed about, but just kind of like, oh, wow, you Philly fans the Philadelphia Eagles are really trying to win this game. Because when it was like 4th and 3, 4th and 4, y'all was not going for it. Y'all was not trying to go. Y'all was like, listen, let's just kick this field goal. Let's get these points. I think you learned when you guys played Washington how field goals and just getting points actually matter. Even when during this playoffs run, you said, hey, let's just get these points and just get out of here. And when I say I felt like the play calling was just unbelievable. I really felt like it was a master class in saying, hey, you know what? We're going to do what we're going to do, and you're not going to stop us. And it's not we're going to overpower you. We're not going to throw for 400 yards. We're not going to rush for 200. But what we're going to do is we're going to hand the rock to our number one guy. He's going to get us some hard yards. And when we need to air it out on you, we're going to let y'all know that we still got that gas. I mean, Jake Elliott, though, shout out to the boy because y'all, in normal times during the regular season, some of those joints y'all go for. Y'all said, give me the points. Give me the points. You know, one guy I do have to shout out, though, on the losing side, Xavier Worthy. He had 8 catches, 157 with 2 touchdowns. I do understand that those are empty calorie plays, empty calorie games in terms of stats. But I felt like he was the only one that could even get open and looked quick during the entire game. He was the only person that Patrick Mahomes could that could depend on. Guys, how do we feel about this wide receiving core? We have Xavier Worthy, we have D-Hop, we have Juju, we have Hollywood Brown. Do the Kansas City Chiefs need a number one? Do we need someone to really step up? Because it's not looking great.
They have one. Rashee Rice, bro. Remember he tore his ACL or he tore that knee up earlier in the year. I think it's a big difference, this offense and this team, if Rashee Rice and Isaiah Pacheco stay healthy all year, for sure. I mean, I'll tell you this. I had both Isaiah Pacheco and Rashee Rice on my fantasy football team in one of my leagues, and they both went down, and I was screwed because it's like that's how it goes. Yeah. That's your number one running back and your number one wide receiver. And Rashee Rice was leading the league in receptions, top 5 in yards, and had some tutties before he went down after the 4 games or 5 games he played. Led the league in receptions and was top 5 in yards. So you got to keep that in mind. Like, you did lose your number one option. Your running back got injured, hurt his leg, never came back playing the same. Mahomes has been not the same Mahomes we've seen in his first, second, third year, right? MVP, 40 plus, 45, 50 touchdowns, 4,500, 5,000 yards. It just wasn't the formula. This game was not the formula that they've used to win games this year.
I feel like
for
the Kansas City Chiefs, when I see this receiving core, of course, Rice is a very pivotal part, but in this Super Bowl receiving core, if this was maybe like 2-3 years ago, the lineup will be, it would have been nasty, right? But we'll see. I feel like because torn ACL takes a year, right, to recover, so he's gonna come back. next year around week 5, week 6, I believe. So then, yeah, I feel like they can, with Rice back, we'll see, I feel like.
I mean, guys, I'm going to be honest with you. I felt like even if Rice played, they still would have lost. I felt it just, to me, it just looked like the Philadelphia Eagles just looked overpowering. They looked like they were primed and ready. They've been handling number one wide receivers all year. They've been handling elite quarterback play where guys are putting up points on a regular basis all year. I just felt like, I don't know what it was. These guys were just ready. Do we think that these guys are gonna come back next year? Do we think it's a double dipping? Do we think we could go back to back? And I gotta go to the GMYBK just to see. Do you think your boys are coming back to the chipping?
For the Eagles or for the Chiefs?
For the Eagles.
Oh,
That's
for
the
the
only
Eagles.
one that won, baby. That's the only one that won.
In terms of contracts, I don't know who is a free agent in terms of contracts, but definitely I'll come back. I mean, look at our defensive core. They all young guys. They all younger than 25. They're still growing. They're still under development, but they're Super Bowl champions, right? So I feel there's so much more we can do. And in terms of coming back, I'm definitely coming back. I think we're the number one projected in terms of odds to win the Super Bowl next year. I don't know. Correct me if I'm wrong. I think we're the number one to win next year. So to repeat. So yeah, let's get it. Run it back. Run everybody back. Even the staff, even the coaching, like everybody.
Listen, you are losing your offensive coordinator, so that's the only thing that's really going to change. You don't really have any big free agents that's coming out on the docket that you need to pay. You guys have really been able to cement all the guys that you need. You might maybe do some free agency, maybe a Myles Garrett, maybe somebody else might be coming. I'm not sure.
Trade for Myles Garrett.
But it definitely looks like, based on the roster and the cap, y'all, in the drafting you guys do, it's looking pretty good. It's looking pretty good. One question I have for the crew, and my MSD Sports crew, you guys can, comment, message, subscribe, let us know while you're doing the thing. Is the Kansas City Chiefs' reign over? Is the dynasty dead? Because it took Brady a decade to get back to the chip. Do we think that the Travis and Mahomes experience, the State Farm experience, do we think it's over? Is this it?
The Travis, yes. The Mahomes, no. I mean, they're still a good team. I will say this. If you look at the rosters, to quickly talk about the Eagles, like 11 of the 12 offensive starters are coming back. They're already under contract. It's fire. The defense that's the issue. Zach Bond, who made first team All-Pro, is a free agent. So you're going to have to give him a bag.
Piece, yeah.
Milton Williams, your starting defensive tackle. Josh Sweat, who had 2.5 sacks, I believe, in the Super Bowl. Yeah. These are all free agents now. So you're going to need to cough up some money to keep the defense intact, right? I think defenses can honestly be put back together. The Chiefs as well, like y'all asked earlier about the offensive line, like do they need to improve their offensive line? If we look at it, actually, even though they're probably just about the same, if not the Eagles a little bit better, if we're talking about like reality, the Chiefs ranked by Pro Football had a better offensive line rating than the Eagles this year. The Chiefs were ranked number 5. The Eagles were ranked number 10 or something. But think about it. They also didn't start none of their starters the last week of the year. And you'd be giving up hella points, and maybe that skews the rating slightly. But they're about the same. Like they just signed the legendary Joe Tooney left guard, like the previous year, the Chiefs, because they wanted to shore up that line and make sure that Patrick Mahomes' blind side was being protected. They're not going nowhere. The AFC is not overwhelmingly who's going to make a run back. If I had to say, on the odds, who's a little bit lower that I think can make a run, I think Cincinnati's has something to say about the Baltimores, the Kansas Cities, and the Buffaloes. But who knows? It might be the Texans' year too, because if we're talking about a poised quarterback, like if you looked at the numbers, I seen a post somewhere. Mahomes under duress was extremely ineffective. When the Texans played the Chiefs, the Texans were getting pressured over 50%. Stroud had one of the highest pressure percents all year and performed exceedingly well under that pressure. So I think that it might be tough for the Chiefs to do it, but I would almost, I bet my money right now to see the Chiefs back in the divisional game. Let's see the regular season. The Broncos was tough last year. The Chargers was tough last year. Let's see the regular, you know what I mean? Let's see what the off-season signings go like, you know?
That's a very good point.
I can see that. I can definitely see that. I mean, Patrick Mahomes, I mean, in terms of the GOAT discussion, his the pin is in that, but it doesn't mean that he is not, you know, I mean, the top 3 quarterback in the league. This situation in terms of, you know, the Super Bowl game, you know, is a defining moment in his career. You know what I mean? Now he's 3-2 in Super Bowls. However, it's not over for him. So I do know he has a number of years. You know, we're wondering if Andy Reid is still going to play, is still going to coach. I wonder if Travis is still going to play. You know what I mean? I wonder if, you know, if Rice is going to get suspended due to his racing a little bit. We'll see. We'll see what happens on that. So you know what I mean? I'm hoping that during this offseason we make a couple good moves because it looked ugly. It looked ugly.
Yeah.
Is there any last minute?
Yeah.
Sorry,
can we say this? This is what I want to say. Saquon broke Terrell Davis's single season rushing record. 2,504 rushing yards, including playoffs, of course. But this is a legendary season. The Giants, I mean, they were already a meme in the offseason before the season even started, talking about, I won't be able to sleep well if Saquon signs with the Eagles. I mean, how must you feel right now? The most rushing yards ever.
NFL history.
So when Terrell Davis did this himself, they won the Super Bowl as well. The Broncos won the Super Bowl when Terrell Davis did that too. So take that.
I mean, listen. I mean, Saquon is unbelievable. I mean, I saw the chain that Ben the jeweler gave him after the game. That 26 diamonds on me dancing because it was just a cultivation of the entire year. You know, we think about that last game of the season, him sitting out. So much of the media, so much of the people, so much of the frustration was just spewed out because they felt like, you should have got the record. You should have got the record. But you know what? YBK was saying, listen, screw the record. I want the chip. And you know what? 26 got it. Diamond Dancing got it. I mean, if I'm the Giants, I might not, if I'm a GM, I might never have a job again. If I'm a coach, I mean, the coach really don't do much, but I'm just saying, if I'm an owner, I might need to sell my team because how is it that the first year I let this boy go, he run for the most yards ever, win a chip, change a franchise, and I'm sitting in the cold in the same division. Make it make sense.
Yep.
Make it make sense.
Yep.
That's like giving $2,000 to your worst enemy when you won the lotto and you homeless. Make it make sense. Yep. I'm confused.
Exactly what you said, David. Exactly what you said. Saquon Barkley signed that 3-year, $38 million contract with the Eagles to win championships and not rushing titles. But big shout out to Saquon Barkley. But in terms of the Eagles, on Friday is going to be their parade. February 14th. Starts at 11 o'clock. They're going to go all the way to City Hall, and they're going to end it at the Museum of Art, where they're going to have their speeches. And I feel like it's going to be crazy. And you know these Philly fans, they're notorious for being crazy. So, you know, if you're a Philly fan, if you have some time, if you have no work, you know, buy your ticket to Philly and enjoy that parade. It's going to be a party. It's going to be a party, guys.
I know a couple guys who trying to get on a flight and get over there, so I already know what it is. They were trying to get me to get on it too. You know what I'm saying? I ain't going to Philly.
I would love to go to Philly. I would love to go.
Man, it's cold. It's cold out there, pimping. It's cold. Shoot.
It won't be cold with them fans though. With the Eagles Nation. Ooh.
YBK.
Couple beers, couple shots.
Y'all ready to re-sign Sirianni now?
Yeah. Yeah, we like him now. We like him now.
Y'all were saying fire him a year ago.
I did
That's
see
your
that
boy now?
article.
Dude took him to the Super Bowl. Dude took him to the Super Bowl, and the next year they said fire.
Fire him.
Ridiculous.
We
They
have
had
to,
bring
we
him
have
back
to, we have
again.
to run everything back. I mean, you have to make everything that works, right?
I think if
Listen.
the fact of the matter is, very few coaches go to a Super Bowl. Very few go to 2 Super Bowls in their first 3 seasons, and even fewer win one. So whether you like him or whether you don't, I think people was remember when he got announced. What was he? He was some sort of coach from the Texans or something. I remember when he got
He
announced,
was.
we were bugging like, what the hell is
Yeah,
up with
who
this
is-
guy?
what is
It wasn't
this?
Did you
Adam
see? Do you remember?
Gase.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't
Do you remember
Adam
in
Gase level, but it was funny. Like we
Yeah,
was
it was like-
what?
Well, the dude comes in sweatpants and a t-shirt during his press conference. Doesn't look like he just worked out in the facility 10 minutes before. He was like, oh, I guess I gotta do a press conference. Da 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 da. Then on top of that, he doubled down after the first press conference when he was looking awkward and everything like that, and said, "Listen, I'm a players guy. I love my players. I don't really care about y'all media people," and really made an enemy of the media. And since then, all he do is win. He had one little situation last year, but when your offensive coordinator gets switched out every single year for the last couple of years, what do you expect? You're going to have a little situation. It happens. I get it. But yeah, sign that boy to a long-term contract, 5 years, maybe, maybe 30 million, 40 million, because the boy doing nice. Put the money on the floor for the kid.
He was
Listen.
like he was a nice guy, and then he turned into like what we call in Boston a masshole. Like he was
Let
like
him know.
he was like a screw it. I'm gonna just be rude. I'm gonna talk trash to the fans that's talking ish to us, and that's it. So
Let him know. Let him know. Guys, Congratulations to the Philadelphia Eagles. You guys won a chip. Shout out to YBK. He was screaming. I don't know if you guys have seen on the MSD page. We had our founder, we had our boy going crazy, you know what I'm saying? Screaming in the streets, letting the people know that he's a champion too, because he's a Philadelphia Eagle.
I had to.
Guys, you had to look. No, I hear the raspiness. If you guys don't hear, the boy rasped because he was screaming so hard. That's how you know.
Yes.
So, listen, we had a couple of things before the Super Bowl that was extremely controversial. And I know we have a lot to talk about this. It is the NFL honors. Okay? It is the NFL honors. We found out the MVP. We found out the defensive player of the year. We found out the comeback player of the year. We found out the rookie of the year. Guys, Mikey, do you want to let them know? You want to let them know a couple situations? You want to let the people know? Because you know your boy, your man, Superman, got some hardware this past week. I'm just saying, Superman got a little hardware. Superman didn't get no kryptonite. He got some big time.
that was a close vote. What did y'all think? Because this is what I'm confused. I thought it was going to be from the beginning when we started talking about these awards. I was like, to me, it's Josh Allen this year. But if you're going to give first team all pro to Lamar, how do the same voters not give him first place in the MVP ballot? I'm just confused. At the same point, last year, Josh Allen's stats was a bit better and Lamar got the MVP nod. So it was like they changed the precedent. It's hard, guys. Like I feel like we can't just look at stats. You do got to look at who is more relied on their team and who drives success more. It's hard to say that Josh Allen was better than Lamar Jackson, but I also do feel like since he didn't get it last year, it's like Jokic winning all these MVPs. You just don't want to give it to him no more. And that's what I felt like this year because Lamar had a better year this year than any of his MVP seasons.
I mean, the thing for me, I think it was Josh Allen's award to lose, and I think him making it to the AFC Championship game against Mahomes, I think the voters, and I know that the votes were technically, sent out before all of these or before the playoffs, but I felt like they all knew Lamar has that Lamar situation in the playoffs, And if Allen can at least win one game or two games, he'll be able to see Mahomes. And if he loses to the GOAT, then it's fine. Or if he loses to the perennial number one right now, it's all good. I mean, I'm very grateful, you know what I mean, for the fact that he was able to win an MVP, because I feel like we put a lot of disrespect on Josh Allen's name. I know for me, sometimes I even have a little bit of stuff to say in terms of his turnover battle, but I think from where he came to where he is now, it was a huge improvement. It's not like he can win comeback player of the year or things like that, but I mean, he was the most valuable player to that team. If you put, a Drake May or a Bo Penix or even a Bryce Young on the Bills, I don't see the Bills being the elite team that they are. I do not see them going to the AFC Championship game. I just don't. Um, I do understand with Lamar. Mr. Jackson is Mr. Jackson. The guy is just unbelievable. He's uh, a walking touchdown throwing machine. You're like legit. He can walk it in, he can run it in, he can sprint it in. It really doesn't matter. But I do feel as though with the case of Derrick Henry coming in and taking a little bit of load off of him, it did put, I think, in the voters' mind, give them a little bit of bias. YBK, how do we feel? Do we feel like Derrick Henry really created a bias in this situation, in this voting, or do you feel like Josh Allen was just head and shoulders above Lamar this year?
I feel like going back to what Mikey said in terms of stats, stats in this MVP voting, it doesn't really count. It depends on what kind of influence you have in your team, and I feel like the addition of Derrick Henry, he ran for what, like over 1,500 yards. Like this guy went crazy too this season. So I feel like when they see the Ravens, they go, "Oh, I see both Lamar and Derrick Henry as that offensive output." But when I see the Bills, the other hand, James Cook is there, but he's not Derrick Henry level. But I can see like, oh, okay, this team is just Josh Allen. So I feel like in that terms, like even when you look at the stats, like what Mikey said, like Josh Allen did better last year in terms of stats, but Lamar won. But Lamar did better this year than last year, but Josh Allen won this year. So, when it comes to numbers, I can't really say much because it doesn't really prove it. But in terms of the influence of what you have in your team, I feel it really counts in this NFL award here this year.
It's got to be taken into account, Camden, that someone who's a top 3 finisher in Offensive Player of the Year. I don't know if he was number 2 or 3. I forget where he ended, Derrick Henry. He had over 1,900 yards, Sam. He almost had a 2,000-yard rushing season again.
Wow.
So when you have that, you traded for Deontay Johnson, even though it didn't work out. Like, you're making moves trying to spruce up the offense throughout the year. Mark Andrews comes back, gets back involved, whereas the Buffalo Bills trade away Stephon Diggs. It's just a whole different paradigm. They said, we're doubling down on Josh Allen to do it by himself. And for Lamar, we're going to get him as much help as possible. So I think that definitely had a big influence. And the vote was close, like 380 to 360. There's a few numbers like in between, maybe 383, 364. I forget the exact number. I do think that award, I understand it. And I think that they're both going to be fighting for that same award next year.
Yep.
I think Joey Burrow going to be in a conversation, but let Burrow win a few of those close games, have a 12-5 record, and we talking a whole different story, because wins talk, bro. Wins talk.
100%. 100%. I mean, I think two things. If Joe Burrow would have even went 12-5 this year, I think he would have won the MVP. And I think one person that we didn't mention, which I really feel like is the most impactful or the MVP, I think is Saquon, in terms of bringing the chip to a franchise. I think he was the most valuable player in the league this year for the Eagles and for the, just for the NFL. Put the boys back in the building. Yeah. We have a couple other awards that have kind of went through. We'll kind of go by them a little quickly. We have Kevin O'Connell winning Coach of the Year.
Nice.
I felt like that wasn't too blasphemous. You know what I mean? Him taking Sam Darnold. I know, Mikey, Sam was your guy. How do you feel about Kevin O'Connell winning this award this year?
I mean, I like it. I don't hate it. I just think that the whole Lions team was decimated, and I think that Dan Campbell probably deserved it a little bit more, if you're asking me, just because of all those injuries and the way that they played. It just caught up to them in the playoffs. I still think he was coach of the year, but yeah, that's my 2 cents.
I hear you. I hear YBK. How we feel?
I feel like the Vikings for a 14-3 record, regular season, the growth of Sam Darnold, the transformation of Sam Darnold. I feel like O'Connell has much influence in that in terms of the growth of the quarterback and also giving him the opportunity and, the chance to, lead the team into success and kind of, in the regular season, I mean, they did. Congrats to Kevin O'Connell. Good job.
Okay. We also got the defensive player of the year, Patrick Surtain. I think that was great. He did an amazing job. I know that Denver is a depleted franchise in terms of the cap, depleted in terms of players, still paying Russell Wilson. Bo Nix, the rookie, is trying to do what he got to do, but I was pretty happy about that. You know what I mean?
I love this one. I love.
You felt like it was
Y'all remember when we talked about our predictions for awards? Because I remember we was talking, and I told y'all if I was given the award, because I remember we was talking to y'all like, well, T.J. Watt, Myles Garrett.
Oh, right.
Who were the front runners? In fairness to you, I was like, that's fine. But I'm like, if there's going to be anyone close to when Gilmore did it, it's Patrick Surtain this year, because that man was like Revis Island out there. That's how good he was, and I'm glad that he won this one. Very glad.
Listen. We have a hometown favorite who won this award. I gotta have the boy, you know what I mean, YBK, introduce this one. I heard it was an offensive player of the year.
Yes, sir. We got the 2024 NFL Offensive Player of the Year going to the recent world champion, Mr. Saquon Barkley. Of course, I wanted the MVP for him too, but we gotta give it to the quarterbacks. But big congrats to Mr. Barkley on the crazy season that led the Eagles to the Super Bowl. Let's go.
Agreed.
Unbelievable. Your boy Mikey, your boy Joey won something too. What happened? I heard he got a couple some. What happened on your boy?
I honestly have like a little bit of an issue with the comeback player of the year award, because like Joe Burrow had a great year, but he's coming off injury. It's like I feel like when Geno Smith came back from his hiatus of being benched for years and then put on a great year, 4,000 passing yards, 30 TDs, I could see it much more. I think they need to reclassify this award into something, because this confuses me. Like, I don't know how Sam Darnold isn't the comeback player of the year. Joe Burrow has finished in top 5 MVP voting before. Like, you're not coming back from nothing. You came back from injury. So boo-hoo.
Yes.
So that's the only thing for me that's like a little bit, this award confuses me. And Joe Burrow deserves all the respect and accolades. I just don't understand how the award is classified. That's not a comeback player. That's an MVP caliber player playing MVP caliber.
It's weird. I feel like, dude, they changed the qualifications a couple year where you have to be coming back from injury. I know that we both, with Mikey and Sam, all three of us, we felt that Sam Darnold was probably going to be should be the winner, but due to the fact that he didn't come off of an injury and he just came off of the fact that he was on a different team, as a backup, that he didn't win that award. I do feel like they need to switch it back to what it was, where it's, hey, a guy that we didn't feel like was having a breakout season to do something, kind of like the Bakers and things like that. You know what I mean? Even Phillip Rivers, I think, won a comeback player of the year award just because he had a monster season with Antonio Gates one year. So, I'm a little disheartened. Joe Burrow's still that guy. I'm not sitting here like disrespecting Joe Burrow, like he is the true top 5 quarterback. But I was definitely a little like, hey, I felt like Sam Darnold should have got this award. One award definitely though that in terms of I really felt was well deserved. Defensive Rookie of the Year, Jared Verse for the Los Angeles Rams. The boy played out of his mind. I felt as though that Rams secondary really benefited from the boy. And I don't think the Rams really make the playoffs or really do a long playoff push if it wasn't for him. I really wanted to throw that out. If anybody has any other thoughts about that, that's great. But I know I want Mikey I need my boy Michael John to talk about that Rookie of the Year award because, oh my God, this boy was crazy.
Well, I feel like this is maybe for you to comment on just as much as me because I feel like I said this so long ago. I said this at the beginning of the year. Take a handle, Jaden Daniels on the Rookie of the Year. This has been this has been so long that I've been saying that. But the question is, where does Bo Nix factor into it all? Because Jaden Daniels had a great year, but Bo Nix had a great year too. And I feel like that's the only conversation of anyone else that I could think of to be involved in that, right? Jaden Daniels
you had Jaden Daniels is that guy. Take a handle Jaden Daniels, like for real. I think, Michael John we need to put that on a t-shirt one of these days. Take a handle, you know what I'm saying? I think first off, you have guys, you know what I mean, like Quinyon Mitchell, you know what I mean? You got guys like Deshaun, you know what I mean? Cooper Deshaun, okay. You got guys like Thomas Jr. on the Jags, okay. I'm cool with that. You got guys like Malik Neighbors, okay. I'm also cool with that. But in my mind, it was a two-man race, and one of those men was just Lightning McQueen at the end of the day. Bo Nix is a great player. I think what Denver has done with him in terms of Sean Payton's tutelage to help him in his rookie year, I think was unbelievable. But guys, you're in the NFC Championship game, playing against soon-to-be champions of the world. And if it wasn't for your boys playing Hot Pocket, I dropped my Hot Pocket out the microwave, it could have been a close game. Jaden Daniels is that guy. I think not only is he Rookie of the Year, I think he's going to be a perennial top 10 quarterback. And if he doesn't have that sophomore slump, we might see him in the top 5 in the next couple of years. Oh, my goodness.
One last thought on all of these awards. I just can't believe that he didn't even finish in the top 5 of Offensive Player of the Year voting, Jamar Chase. Because I've never heard of someone like win the Triple Crown with ease and not be acknowledged for it. So I'm gonna just leave that there for like food for thought. You got to win games, I guess. If you're not a playoff team, it don't really matter, right?
Your numbers don't matter.
Yeah, I don't know what it is with that. I think it's like it's weird where it's like if like you said, like if you're not a playoff team, like you're not legitimate. It's kind of like what we talk about when it comes to NBA. You have LaMelo dropping, you know what I mean, almost 30 and 10, but his team is in the bottom 4 of the league, so the NBA is not going to reward him for that fact. I think it's a similar situation in terms of Jamar Chase. Boy did win the Triple Crown, didn't even come in the top 3. Crazy work. Oh my goodness. Oh, guys, NFL. Can you believe it? It is the end of the season. Wow. I am blown away. It has been a remarkable season. Again, the Philadelphia Eagles are the champions, beating the Kansas City Chiefs 40-22. We had some wonderful NFL honors where we were able to let people know who was winning, taking some hardware home. And that wraps up the 2024 season of the NFL. How do we feel? Are we feeling sad? Are we feeling, are we excited? Like, what do we think? YBK, talk to me. I'm
just happy that the Eagles won, wraps up a great season. And there's no like, oh, I wish we did this, I wish we did that. We got the chip. We're number one. We're number one in the world. And for me as a baseball fan, this always happens to me every Super Bowl. After every Super Bowl ends, spring training, baby. MLB's coming closer. So I feel good, We got I got the chip, so I'm waiting for my next team to get the chip. I'm excited, guys. I'm excited. How do you feel, Mikey?
It's always a bittersweet moment, but we'll have football back very soon, yo.
Oh yeah.
Great season. Hoping my pads
NFL
can flip. We got this draft coming up. Don't worry, we can talk about the draft soon, y'all. We got draft in April, so it ain't disappearing on us like Houdini.
We do have some stuff that will pop up throughout the podcast. We do have some news that will always pop up. We'll always try to sneak NFL in there. But, in terms of our heavy base NFL, we're transitioning to a new situation. We're transitioning to a new plateau. We're talking NBA. And when I say there's no better way to get you started than the NBA All-Star Weekend. Oh my goodness. Are you amped or are you amped? Because it's Friday coming up. I didn't think it'd come any sooner. We got the NBA All-Star Game.
Yes, we do. Yes, we do.
How we feeling, guys? How we feeling?
I
What
mean,
are we most excited about?
There's a lot of changes this All-Star weekend, so I feel like very excited because we've never seen this kind of format before. I know we explained the whole format in the All-Star game, but it also affects the rising All-Star game as well that takes place on Friday, where the rookies of the NFL and the sophomores get together and they do a game usually. They do like a USA versus World, that always took place. But this season, with the new changes with the All-Star game, this also affects them too. And they also have people that drafted them. So we have Chris Mullin, NBA legend Mitch Richmond, and Tim Hardaway Sr. drafted their rising teams. I think it's 7 of them, and then a G League team led by Jeremy Lin comes in, and they do a semifinal format as well to 40, just like on Sunday. So I didn't know about this guy. So that's going to be taking place on Friday. This would be pretty cool.
Yo, I'm liking this this like fun little way, kind of like pick a ball type right here, huh?
Yeah. And I mean,
This is
yeah.
Yeah, this is definitely bringing some excitement into the league. Like, I didn't even know any of this. So, you know what I mean? YBK is letting your boy know, Camden Lee, you know what I'm saying, the information of this weekend.
Yes, sir.
I mean, this is crazy. Like, unbelievable. Like, you got the rising stars being able to possibly play in, you know what I mean, the big game. I remember when it was just completely separate, where it was like, yeah, you got the rising stars and the international or the world used to play or things like that.
Yep.
But guys, you're gonna be able to see some young guns playing with the number 1 stars. I mean, this is awesome. Like, I'm feeling great about this. Is there any team that we feel like can really take this over? Is there a couple of young stars that you have your eyes on these days?
I'm looking at the teams right now. I'm gonna be honest with y'all. I really like Team Chris. You got Stephon Castle, front runner for Rookie of the Year. You got Ryan Dunn. You got Zach Edey. Big boy. You got Keontae George, who big
Utah.
Expectations, needs to start playing better, but I think is nice. You got your boy TJD, Dalton Connect, who's back to LA. We'll talk about that. But Jalen Wells, a great young player too. So I'm really liking Team Chris here. I feel like Team Chris is looking pretty sharp.
I like Team Mitch. I like having that combination of the Thompson brothers joining in one team. I'm sure they're excited to play for each other. I like the Bilal Coulibaly. He was a rookie last year. He's a sophomore this year, but he stepped up for his squad this year. And of course, Scoot Henderson being in that team. So I feel like Team Mitch has a pretty cool chance as well. I'm really excited for that sibling kind of dynamic duo matchup. What about you, Camden? How do you feel?
I mean, I'm really liking this Team Tim.
Ooh.
You know what I mean? Jamie Jacquez Jr., you know what I mean? Great defensive player. You know what I mean? Alex Sarr, not terrible. Tristan Da Silva, Anthony Black. You know what I mean? I feel like there could be some damage in terms of this game. I do like Mitch. Mitch and Chris do look pretty good. I think if I had to put my money on anything, I think Team Chris or Team Mitch. However, I think Team Tim could be a little sneaky. And especially that added motivation of getting a couple dollars, I think it could definitely put these boys in a little bit of a different headspace because they're going to be playing on the main stage a little later this week.
Let's see if those G League players, though, that are out there with Team Jeremy, right?
Yeah.
You got Mac McClung. You
McClung.
got your boy.
Slam dunk champion.
He trying to slam some stuff. Reed Shepard's there, but he got some good time. He's run some NBA minutes. But J.D. Davison, he used to be in the Celtics, if I remember right.
Oh, wow.
That's who I'm thinking it is. Yeah. But then we got some names that I'm not exactly sure. They must be G Leaguers. Dank Pate, Leonard Miller, Bryce McGowan's, Pat Spencer. Sounds like some good young talent, and I'm excited to see. That sounds like it's fun. Like, we need to inject a little bit of fun into the activities since since something like the dunk contest has got diluted a bit over the years, and we've lost that vision. I think like these sort of competitions is cool.
And I feel like it gives opportunity for these players to have that spotlight. Like if it was Team World, Team USA, if you're on a bench in those kind of situations, you don't play much. But these are the 7 players now in that team that you're gonna be competing for until maybe till Sunday. So I feel like each individual athlete here, even as a rookie, is a great time to showcase what you got. Great time because everybody's there.
Should be fun. Should be fun. I mean, one thing I'm really looking forward to this weekend, and I don't know if you guys, it's Saturday night,
Ooh.
8 p.m. Eastern, 5 o'clock Pacific. We got the 3-point contest. I felt like for the first time, not the first time, but in terms of bringing some pizzazz, I'm looking at some of these names. Jalen Brunson, Cade Cunningham, Darius Garland, Tyler Hero, Buddy Hield, Cam Johnson, Dame Lillard, and my boy, Mr. Clipper, on the Jumbotron, Norman Powell. I feel like for the first time, this is the 3-point contest that I want to watch. They're guys that I really like watching play during the regular season. They're not necessarily the Steph Currys or the KDs. You know what I mean? The only kind of big name, you know what I mean? He's a little outdated, but he's a little, you know what I'm saying? Dame Lillard. But I really like these young stars that are making this pop in. How do we feel? How do we feel about this? Buddy Hield, Jalen Brunson on the 3-point contest? What are we talking here? What are we talking?
I like it a lot here. A great choice of athletes here. Mr. So sad not to see Mr. Curry, Mr. Clay, but we still got the OG Dame. You got Buddy trying to rep his home Warriors here. It's taking place in Chase Center. I love the Cade so much, guys. I love the Cade. I want him to win. I want him to show because he's in Detroit, in a very small market. He's not like the LA. He's not the New York. So I want him to really show, show the world who Cade is. So I'm excited here.
I'm gonna give y'all my prediction.
Okay.
You got Dame Lillard's going for his 3rd in the row right now.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
In a row.
He's looking for a 3-peat.
Oh.
But I'm gonna tell y'all what's gonna happen. He ain't gonna make it to the final because it's gonna be between Darius Garland and Norm Powell.
Oh.
And Darius Garland's gonna edge out Norm in that final.
Damn.
I got Darius Garland winning it.
Okay.
You heard it first.
I would love Cade to perform well, but I feel like out of all of these players that I'm seeing here, Cade is the one that I think is the least pure 3-point shooter.
True.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's what I got. I got Darius Garland and Powell in that final, and I think Garland edges him.
Sheesh.
I feel similar with Dame trying to go for his 3rd. I don't think he gets it, but I think Mr. Jumbotron, Mr. on my way to Inglewood and the Intuit Center, Mr. Norman Powell, I think he's gonna take it. I'm just listen.
I like it.
I've been seeing this while I'm driving. I've been seeing him on my way. I'm saying I'll be on Prairie. I'll be doing my thing, and I'll be seeing him on the Jumbotron. Norman Powell going crazy.
Okay.
For real.
All right. So we
got
got. I got K. So we got Garland for Mikey, K for YBK, Norman Powell for Camden. Let's get it.
100%.
I like that.
100%.
I want to talk about the next activity on Saturday. The NBA Skills Challenge is also on Saturday. So this time is going to be 4 different teams of 2. So we got Team Cavs for Donovan Mitchell and Evan Mobley. You got Team Rooks. You got oh man, this guy's hard to pronounce his name. He's in the Hawks. Jair
Zachary Rizashay.
Yes, and you got Alex Sarr with him. Rizashay. You got Team Spurs, the OG Chris Paul with his buddy Victor Wembanyama. And you got Team Warriors to rep the All-Star game, Draymond Green and Moses Moody. I mean, it's going to be cool. I mean, we don't really watch the Skills Challenge for me too personally, but let's see how they turn it up here, in this difference.
I'll go.
I think we're gonna be
Team Rooks. I'm gonna pick Team Rooks right here just because they trying to flex.
I'll go
All right,
Team Spurs. Team Victor. What about you, David?
You taking Wemby? You
Yeah,
taking
I'm taking
Wemby?
Wemby.
That was gonna be my first pick, but just to make it a little interesting, let's go Team Warriors. You know what I mean? They're at the crib.
Okay.
They're at the cribby.
Okay.
They done it. You know what I'm saying? They're at home. Let's see
I
if they
like
can
that.
put little stars. You know what I'm saying? Let the people know. Let the people know.
I love it.
What else do we got? What's the next activity?
Well, there's a big one that I feel like this used to be a real fun one back when MJ and Dominique was battling it out, or when we had young Zach LaVine and young Aaron Gordon going crazy.
Yeah.
But listen, we got another person who's trying to go for a three-peat in the dunk
man,
contest.
three-peat.
G
What's going
Leaguer.
on?
He got Bounce. Mr. Mac McClung is trying to defend his slam dunk title. He's gonna be going against. They always like to get the young bulls in that. So we got a few young bulls coming in to try to dethrone Mac McClung. First, you got Matas Buzelis. He's coming in trying to represent for Chicago. You got your boy Stephon Castle, Rookie of the Year MVP, or Rookie of the Year ladder leader. Then you got Mr. Andre Jackson Jr. representing the Milwaukee Bucks. So, I'm gonna be honest with y'all. I don't be getting excited for the dunk contest like I used to. Honestly, this one, unlike where Dame is going for the three-peat, he ain't gonna get it. Like, write the check for Mac McClung and give him his third in a row right now. Write it, sign and delivered.
All he do when he's in the G League is jump. I don't see him shoot. I don't think I've ever seen him take a layup or a jump shot ever in the history of highlights. So I wouldn't be surprised if he's been practicing it all year just to have a little, have a little NBA spice to let the people know, oh, I'm a 3-time back-to-back champion. I'm gonna take McClung and I'm gonna just let him know when I see the ticker come across my phone, because I probably ain't even gonna watch this one in terms of that. Do you remember back in the day when the Stars was dunking? When the Stars was out here? This is ridiculous. They got a bunch of G League players. Come out.
This is not the way to cut it. But I'm going. Wow, we're going 3 for 3, guys. I was gonna go McClung too, because these 3 other contestants, I don't really see much going on here in terms of hang time and high flying kind of player. And McClung kind of showed us for the past 2 years pretty cool dunks. I agree with David too. I might not tune in on this one, but I'm going McClung here on the 3 for 3, guys.
I'll watch the highlights for sure if I can't catch it live.
True.
I might be putting in work. I'm not gonna lie. I might be putting in some work. So if I have to, I'll catch the highlights.
All right, guys. And
I
I think that's the activity for Saturday. But on Sunday is the highlight all-star tournament style starting. And we got the team names, guys. If you guys didn't know, Shaq's team's called the OGs. Kenny's team's called the Young Stars. And then you got Chuck's team's called Global Stars. And you got, I think, Candace's team, I think it's the Rising Stars, something like that. But yeah, we got the names going there, and we're gonna have the Young Stars versus the Global Stars, and we're gonna have the OGs versus the Rising Stars. So it first starts at 5:20 Pacific, 8:20 Eastern, 6:10 Pacific on the next semifinals, and then it's gonna be 10 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Pacific for the championship. And I feel like it'll be cool. It'll be very cool with these. We know the rosters for each team, so I think it's going to be nice.
Should be a good game. I'm excited. I'm not sure who's going to win, just because I'm not sure in terms of the Rising Stars who's going to be coming out of the field. But if in terms of just these 3 teams, I'm loving the OGs. I got to be honest. Between LeBron, Steph, Anthony, KD, Dame, Jason, and Kyrie, I think it's over. The OGs take it. You know what I'm saying? I'm not sure who's going to be the young stars coming out, but I think the OGs about to get it popping.
Sam, what you feeling here?
I feel like I think I told you guys before when the lineup first came out, I'm going straight OGs as well. But I'm looking at the matchups and I'm like, guys, I think the NBA is trying to just make the OGs go to the finals, because I don't think the Rising Stars teams have. It could be a good game, but I don't think they have a battle with these 3 teams going, right? So I feel like the OGs are automatically going to be placed to the finals, but I'm going OGs here.
All right, then I'm gonna have to go ahead and take the Global Stars.
Ooh.
No problem. I'm kind of glad that Giannis is hurt, so he's gonna have to sit out because your boy Trey Young can actually play the All-Star game because
Yes, he
they
can.
do him dirty every
They
year in
did
the
him dirty.
All-Stars. So, yeah, I'll take the Global Stars, no problem, yo. Y'all telling me I have to live with SGA and Jokic and Cat and
Victor.
Spida and Wemby. I'll live with it. I'll take it, y'all, and we'll see y'all OGs in the final.
All right, let's get it. Because I think
Global
y'all
stars
can
and
definitely
OGs
take the
in
young
the
stars.
final.
Y'all definitely
Yeah.
going to take the young stars for sure. It's going to be
Yeah.
OGs versus
100%.
Global Stars. It's going to be the
I
show to
will
watch.
say, don't you think if there's one team though that might play with a little bit more, if we're talking about ranking and how much tenacity is the team's going to play with, I will probably say the young stars and the rising stars. I would assume want to put on right now.
True,
But
true.
The OGs might try to say like, listen, we still boss. Like I'm gonna show y'all who boss. I'm gonna show
yeah.
y'all who got the championships.
Oh, yep.
So
Got the rings.
yeah, let's see. I think this is exciting, and let's see how this pans out because Adam Silver, he's a bit creative and he's open to different things, right? He's made these comments about let's reinvigorate All-Star Weekend. Let's think about the way that global basketball works globally in 10-minute quarters versus 12-minute quarters. And
Yeah.
I think like he wants to bring the game to heights it hasn't seen before. So let's see if this is fun. I want competitiveness, and if it has to
Facts.
be OGs versus the youngins, shit, let's get it.
I'm down. Yeah, word. I totally agree. It's going to be fun.
I'm excited, y'all. I mean, I feel like we got a lot of good NBA to delve into, and I don't know. I feel like we touched a lot, guys, today. It's disappointing.
For
It's
real.
bittersweet to say goodbye to NFL,
Yeah.
but looking forward as this NBA keeps going, huh?
I mean,
Listen,
yeah, the second
listen.
half of
And-
the NBA.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
That's what I'm saying. NFL was great. You know what I mean? We love the National Football League. You know what I'm saying? It's great to have, weekly games. But every other day is kind of nice, too. You know what I'm saying? And with MLB coming around the helm, we're going to be busy. It's going to be a lot of news, a lot of situation, a lot going down. Just make sure you stay tuned. I tell you that. Come on, baby. Come on.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Super Bowl 59 was a great Super Bowl. Great NFL season. Great 2024 season, especially if you're an Eagles fan. Fly, Eagles, fly. Congrats to all the fans. Congrats to the organization. Congrats to Mr. Saquon Barkley. And in the next part, I think we're going to talk about more NBA, huh? Take some NBA news.
We got a lot of news.
MVP talks, like we're going spicy talks in the half of the season now. So we got like what, 2 months left, 3 months left of basketball into the playoffs. So
Yes, sir.
things are gonna get crazy.
Yeah, we'll be back with the MVP ladder. We'll be back with the rookie ladder. We'll be back with the standings talk. We'll be back with plenty of news. And I'm also be coming to you. You got your residential UFC expert, and we just had a nice pay-per-view card that just passed. And we'll be back to talk about that and to talk about some upcoming fun fights that's in the cards.
I like that.
Let's get it. Is there any last minute remarks that we want to make? You know what I'm saying? It's our last NFL situation, you know what I mean? Other than maybe some tidbits here and there. Is there anything else anybody want to say real quick?
Eagles run back
Listen.
to back, baby.
Celtics, baby. Celtics is going back to back, baby. We doubling up the back to backs. We're going back to back.
Back to back there and back to back over here. I like it.
Y'all ain't right. Shout out to the Kansas City Chiefs. Y'all did all right. I mean, making it to the Super Bowl 3 times is very difficult. Hopefully, we see Mahomes in it at some point. But let's get somebody fresh for next year. I want something.
Talking about, you said 3 times. They did it 5 times, bro.
5 times.
Well, I'm talking about they got to
Yeah.
the Super Bowl 3 times in a row. So that's you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? I'm cool with it.
When was the last time they didn't go to the Super Bowl? It was what?
It's been a while. It's been a while.
Yeah, I was gonna say them fools. Even when they lost to Tampa Bay and they lost to the Eagles, but every other Super Bowl in between they've won. So I mean, boo-hoo, Kansas City. That's how I felt when we was being a Pats fan. Boo-hoo, we lost to the Eagles in a shootout. Wow, like we'll be back, So
We'll be back. We'll be back.
All
Oh,
right, guys.
great episode,
Yes,
guys.
sir.
Episode 16. 17, sorry, I can't believe it. Oh, my goodness.
Yes,
17
sir.
episodes. Can you guys believe that we'll be at 20 in a
Almost
couple?
20. I know.
Guys,
Kind of crazy.
You gotta do something. Might have to do something special for
Kind
episode
of
20.
crazy.
You
I
never
know. Something real special. Yes, sir.
Yes,
Yes, sir. RCR Presents MSD Sports. That was episode number 17. 17, guys. You can find us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, Amazon Music, iHeartRadio. And you guys already know, my name is Sam, also known as YBK, at YBK up in here. We got Mikey, at Michael John DeStefano. We got Camden, at Mr. Club Paradise. And that was MSD Sports episode number 17, folks. We'll see you in the next pod, everybody. Peace!
Peace.